think there's a naive community perception that perfect balance means all 26 heroes get played exactly equally all the time. And maybe this is me being a failure for saying this, but I don't believe that's reality. I don't believe, even if all 26 heroes were perfectly balanced, I don't believe in pro matches you would see all 26 heroes played equally.
Hello and welcome back to Blackwatch Intel. My name is Crashy, and today we're actually going to be hearing a clip, or you actually already heard a clip, from Jeff Kaplan from an interview. Seems like they brought a lot of content creators and a lot of people out to the Blizzard studios, and so this interview, this particular question was coming from your Overwatch, something that he was asked, and essentially brings me back to a topic that I've talked about in the past, and I want to kind of talk about balance and niche heroes and things of that nature. So that said, Jeff Kaplan essentially said that he doesn't think that balance in kind of like the real world, in the way that this game is actually played and played at the professional level, he doesn't think that balance means that every hero should see an even amount of play. He thinks that that isn't realistic, and that it's a naive perspective and understanding of what hero balance should be. Now, I've said something similar to this in the past, and I kind of just want to touch on this again, and maybe, I don't know how to explain, maybe this can be somewhat eye-opening in the world of competitive gaming or in the world of game development, to kind of explain why that is a bit of a naive perspective to have. So a lot of my background coming from MOBAs, and I have to say, balancing Overwatch compared to balancing a MOBA is probably a lot easier, in the sense that there's not as many heroes, but I think at any given time, you look at any MOBA in the gaming industry, any MOBA out there, and you're gonna know that at least half the roster isn't quote-unquote viable, or isn't, you know, really in the meta. Can they be played? Can they have some effectiveness and bring value? Absolutely. And those do, you know, heavily depend on what the overall comp is for the team. But a lot of the time with MOBAs, there's just such a large roster that it's almost impossible to balance. And the same thing is kind of true with Overwatch, just at a much smaller scale. Not to mention the fact that this game with Overwatch has the kind of in between the game swaps, which allows for much more diverse types of hero development and hero, kind of design. So I've done a video in the past, I think this was a long time ago now, where I basically explained that niche heroes, not necessarily heroes that are just out of meta, although a lot of niche heroes do end up being out of meta, but niche heroes are the heroes that you're not going to see a lot, and it's intentional. Now, the reason I think this is important to know and understand and even explain just now is that there should be heroes that are built in this game for very specific scenarios, because it plays into the theme that heroes are useful and good at specific scenarios, and it plays into the theme that you should be swapping and adapting and changing your heroes as the match goes on, as you try to evolve different strategies. Now, the natural kind of adverse effect of that is that you are going to have very heavy, like meta heavy, strong heroes. And that's just the nature of the game. I mean, that's just the nature of gaming in general. The meta, which again, an acronym that I use for meta is most effective tactic available. The meta is always formed by those who find the most effective comps, the most effective strategies, positionings, etc., etc. So the reason you hold on top of the gas station on the first point of Route 66 rather than right in front of the cart is because they have found that it is more effective to do so, to sit back, than to potentially give up more ground by dying early. And that's where these types of intricacies and metas evolve. It's more meta to run a hero like Genji or Soldier 76 than it is to run Mei on every point, because of the natural application. But does that mean that Mei or Torbjorn or Symmetra don't have their niche application? Absolutely not. So to just kind of recap and touch on this rather short video and just kind of like a public service announcement out there, I don't think all the heroes should be balanced. I don't think balanced in the sense that you can use them whenever. I think if your understanding of what game balance is and your desire to see all of these heroes useful in every situation, I think, again, you're naive. I think it's something that's not meant to happen. I think it's something that's not possible, and it's not something that I really want to see personally. I like to see the very meta heroes get mastered and played to such a degree. I like to see when the very niche heroes who don't see a lot of play actually come out. That becomes an exciting thing for me on the competitive end. And although there is a weird area, a gray area of one-tricking, and well, if the heroes were balanced and useful, then one-tricking wouldn't be a problem, again, that's a totally different argument, because one-tricking is a totally different issue in of itself. So that's my thought. I don't think the heroes need to always be played all the time. I would much rather see, you know, the very niche, the specific, the people that are willing to swap in and out to use the heroes, you know, the most effective, you know, way that they can be used without just playing Mei all the time or playing, you know, Widowmaker all the time or whatever the case may be. So let me know your thoughts. I'm genuinely interested. I mean, do you want the heroes to be useful all the time? Do you even think that's possible? I think that's more of a realistic way to think about it, because I personally don't think that's even possible. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please do not leave without leaving a like and subscribe for future content. I appreciate it again, and I'll see you on the next video.
Do you feel your bones start to shake? Do you feel the earth?